The Decorators patch was released this week for Cities Skylines 2, which includes more content and fixes, so let me take you through everything added in patch 1.1.8 F1. Let's start with the new content. It's been possible to access and place props through the developer mode, but this necessarily isn't a feature intended for everyday use, so the devs have added a decorations menu. So you have access to almost 300 decoration props split into 8 categories. You've got nature, which has 33 props, park, which has 35 props, potted plants, which has 30 props, residential props, which has 84 props, industrial props, which have 49 props, commercial props, which have 25 props, debris, which have 29 props, and decals, which have 13 props. And now I've said the word props so much, let's move on to the known issues. So in regards to homelessness, it may take a while to clear up if the city has many homeless households. Building new residential buildings can speed up this process, and empty buildings are currently non-visible despite their effect on demand. However, they can still get occupied by residents or companies. Let's talk about the gameplay fixes and improvements. They fix issues with homeless citizens. So what they've done is they fix homeless citizens not seeking a way out of homelessness. They've also fixed homeless citizens having a good household wealth, and newly spawned households still moving in being counted as homeless has also been fixed. They've increased the cost of shelter in home finding job to reduce homeless households, and they've added the moving in household count, which is the household looking for property to move in, and added a maximum to stop new households from spawning when many are already looking for homes. And then they've done a bunch of fixes. So they've fixed small elevated subway stations showing missing road connection and utilities when placed on a 6 or 8 lane road. Crashed a desktop that occurred when overriding a building that has also lost some renters. Roads tunnels generating noise and air pollution above them. Buildings on pedestrian street roundabouts showing no pedestrian access notifications. Sick citizens might get stuck on pedestrian lanes. Missing sewage connection notification when placing the water tower on top of the combined pipes. An issue where it was possible to place buildings so that the surface areas would overlap with the already created standalone surface areas. Some city service buildings showing overlapped items warning when trying to place them on the roundabout zone grid. Areas attached to buildings allowing placement on water. They've also improved the passage park coverage to be more consistent, no matter what direction the park faces. They've also improved dog behavior so citizens don't take their dogs to work or school unless they are already out of their homes. They've adjusted the subway station number 1, number 2, and number 3 construction costs, upkeep costs, and XP rewards. And they've also removed the noise pollution from solar power station additional transformer station upgrade. Now for the UI fixes and improvements. They've fixed bottom status bar not being accessible with a controller when in map tile purchase mode. The assigned vehicle selection shipping values on the slider has been fixed. They've also fixed show unlock pop-ups option only being available in the interface options menu with developer mode enabled. The UI disappearing when selecting the place multiple tool mode in the vegetation tab with a controller. Parallel offset setting not working correctly when the building roads with a controller. Building showing wages sections in the upkeep even though the building does not have workers. Changing money and population count current trend is not updating correctly. Some building upgrades missing their bonuses in the building selection info panel. The building attractiveness tooltip showing incorrect percentages if the building has lost all of its attractiveness, for example in case of a fire. They've also fixed the train, tram and subway tutorials, marking the step for placing tracks as completed before taking any action. The top of the tutorial welcome window being cut off in some languages if the text scale is set to 140%. Some cut off tutorial prompt panels. Police and fire safety tutorials missing from the advisor panel. Out of focus icons during tutorials. Happiness tooltip overlapping with citizens' information inside their selected info panel when using a controller. Missing tooltips in options panel when using a controller. Sherpa post not getting updated accurately. Overflowing residents' names in life path panel. Overflowing text with long key bindings. Key binding description being difficult to read with long key bindings. 8-lane divided road thumbnail. Some building upgrades missing pollution type icons. Text being unreadable in some panels with the blue interface color theme. Missing space in passenger and cargo count in route or line detail selected info panel. An issue where selecting objects from the Chirper panel does not work if the game was loaded while already having something selected. They've also fixed inconsistency with how residential, commercial, industrial and offices are highlighted in info views. They've also improved selection info panel of stops and stations to directly show whether transport lines are active or disabled. Improved the oil icon color for better visibility. They've changed the info view panel pie charts to horizontal bar charts for a more compact UI, allowing better visibility for the map legend. They've added mouse bindings for camera movement actions both forward and back. They are unset by default. They've added Shift, Alt, and Control keys that were missing from the description of binding action for mouse. They've added support for mouse wheel to scroll through asset panel pages. They've also moved the small water tower's UI position to before the regular water tower. Now for the audio fixes, there's only a few in here. They've adjusted the marquee zone tool audio and the map tiles tool audio. Fixed the space rocket sound playing after a rocket disappears from the map when the rocket is being followed. Fixed some buildings missing fire sound effects. Fixed the building pipes and electricity nets missing snapping sound effects. And they've also fixed the North American ambulance missing engine sound. For the miscellaneous fixes and improvements, they've fixed holes from previous city remain on the terrain after starting a new game until something with terrain holes is spawned. Fixed right indicator on the back of the NA Ambulance 1. Fixed the direction indicators of trams flashing out of sync. They've also fixed the missing basketball basket from the basketball court in the Film Actor Mansion signature building. They've fixed a small bus station illumination after upgrading it with the extra platforms and taxi stop. Some building upgrades missing fire visual effects. Electricity wires rendering on top of the smoke. Forest forwarder vehicle lights glow. The forest harvester's vehicle light source placement. They've changed some industry chimney smoke to water vapor. Several translation fixes, and they've also updated the game credits. Now for modding changes, they've added the settings UI building mimic attribute, which allows mods to sync their buildings with built-in bindings. And they've also added the invert option to setting UI hide by condition attribute and settings UI disable by condition attribute to invert condition. Finally, we've got some changes to Paradox mods. So the Paradox SDK has been updated to 1.22.0 and the mods UI is to 1.7.0. And they've added a new feature, so a time range selector for most popular mods defaulting to the past 30 days. In general, a spotlight image in featured is now clickable. They've added the dependency names to modal when subscribing to a mod with dependencies. Improved the sorting text in library. One when a mod that have other mods depending on it being removed. Most popular mods in featured is now showing the past 7 days of most popular mods. And for bug fixes in this, they've fixed the scrolling during sync in edge case where multiple progress bars were shown, improved visibility of error messages in input fields, fixed alignment of activate playset button in playset listing. They fixed the profile image from moving when following and unfollowing. And finally, they fixed the mods in playset details showing the wrong enabled state after subscribing. And that is it. That is the Decorators patch, or patch 1.1.8F1. How are you finding patch if you have tried it already? What do you like about this patch? Good, bad? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, find it helpful and informative, and like to see more content like this one, make sure you are subscribed. I'll be covering more Cities Skylines 2 when new updates come available. I'll also be covering my usual racing and simulation game genres on the channel, so if that interests you, you can stick around and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.